If nobody talks about you, then you are nobody. Then you are nobody. Remember, child, everybody get that problem for head.
Greetings. I am Priestess Osun Funke, and today I am going to be asking the ancestors, are Black women becoming more masculine and Black men becoming more feminine? I am going to start out with the cards. Are Black women becoming more masculine and Black men becoming more feminine? Okay, so the first card I get is the card for the provocateur. This is talking about people being provoked, one who has been provoked or coerced. The next card I get is the card for self-reliance, okay? Followed by the card for deception, but it's upside down. And so this first row of cards is saying that our communities, both men and women, have been provoked into relying on themselves. They're no longer relying on the complementary aspects of the opposite gender. The next row of cards that I have is the card for the drifter. Okay, so this is talking about instability, followed by the card for the end of illusions. So this talks about the need to see things clearly, followed by the card for the father. Okay, so this is talking about both fatherhood in the literal sense, but it's also talking about our ancestry. So if I read these cards like a sentence, it's saying that we are unstable as a culture. We need to see things clearly, and it is the father's hope that we do that we begin to see things clearly. The next card I have is the card for the celebrity. Okay, and so this card is talking about something being famous, something being phenomenal, out of the ordinary. I get the card for the witch, and that is upside down as well. And so this card is talking about tapping into one's magical abilities, the ability to transmute energy, to change things, to influence reality. Followed by the card for the vampire, which is also upside down. And this is talking about a drain on one's energy. And so because this whole row of cards is upside down, the first thing that's telling me is that there is a lot of upheaval. There's a lot of things that appear one way and may actually be another, a lot of topsy-turvy energy with relation to this topic. So this row of cards is talking about the fact that we are famously not tapping into our ability to influence reality. And doing so would not drain our energy, but would actually bolster our confidence and our efforts going forward. The next card I have is the card for the student, which talks about the need to study, followed by the card for stability, which is upside down. So it's talking about instability, followed by the card for the mother. And so it's saying that the mothers in our communities have not studied, and this is leading to instability. So the mothers or the women in our community have not studied what it means to be feminine, what it means to be a woman. We've lost touch with that age-old wisdom that was passed down from generation to generation, and cemented with certain rites of passage. And so it's left our women unstable. And we know that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. The next card I have is the card for logic, and it's upside down. That's pretty self-explanatory. We're not using logic at this time. Followed by the card for the initiate, also upside down. Followed by the card for bliss, also upside down. Topsy-turvy energy. Oh my goodness. So this is saying that we're not using logic. And so because we're not using logic, we're not experiencing bliss. We're not experiencing happiness. And this is as a culture. The next card I have is the card for the assailant. This is talking about what assails us at this time. The card for contemplation, upside down. So that's talking about not thinking, basically. Followed by the card for the yogi, which is talking about meditation and consideration, and it is also upside down. So what assails us at this time is that we're really just not thinking things through. We're not meditating about our circumstance. We're not meditating about solutions. We're just not thinking. We are, as a culture, being self-reliant, relying on ourselves and not our partners. We're not seeking partnerships anymore, is what they're telling me. We're thinking that we can do it by ourselves, and we're failing abysmally. I get the card for distractions. I get the card for the visionary, which is talking about the way we see things or what our vision is, and that card is upside down. And I get the card for the gravedigger shovel, and it's also upside down. So this is saying that the way we see things are distracting us from the danger that we're actually in, the danger that our family is in, because we're not seeing it as danger. This card is upside down, so we're in a very dangerous situation, but we're not seeing it that way. Our culture is at risk. Our families are at risk, and we simply can't see it. The ancestors have spoken through the cards. Now I'm going to ask using the bones. So now I am going to ask the ancestors about femininity and masculinity in the Black community using the bones. So the first thing I get here is clear quartz over the man. And so this is an amplifier stone. And it's basically saying that the men need to be amplified. Okay, because this question is about masculinity, we definitely need their masculinity to be in overdrive at this time. So it's kind of saying that the men set the tone. Wow. I get the trophy over the past, as well as an open cowrie, which means that the ancestors are speaking. And so it's saying that in the past, the men were the trophy. In the past, it is through our men that we won. Over Oshun, I get the quarter, and I get the transformation stone. So it's saying that working with Oshun on this particular issue would definitely transform the situation. Working with Oshun will pay off. Tapping into that Oshun energy will pay off. Oshun is the Orisha of fertility, prosperity, and love. So working with Oshun to repair the relationships between men and women in our community is definitely going to pay off. I get the beetle over the baby. So this is talking about our children being infested. So this issue that we have of gender roles being blurred and women being less feminine than they have in history and men being less masculine than they have in history is something that is plaguing the children. It's an infestation. It's damaging to our children. I get the ancestral stone over the heart chakra. So this is saying that the ancestors are really in their feelings about this. They feel some type of way about this issue. I get the button over the bullseye. So they're acknowledging the question that I asked. Are women becoming less feminine? Are men becoming less masculine? And they're saying, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That is exactly what's happening right now. I get the rose quartz over work. So they're saying that we are going to have, this is a problem that we have to work on, okay? And we have to work on our love relationships, our romantic relationships, how we interact with each other on a romantic level. There's work to be done. We also need to meditate about this. And I get the snowflake jasper, which basically indicates that there's something very unique about this situation over meditation. So we need to meditate upon this because it is a very unique situation. It's something that we've never had to deal with before in our history. And the solution for it is probably also going to be equally as unique. The sober truth is, this is the sobriety stone. And the sober truth is that we're giving it away. We're giving away our opportunity for healing and to strengthen our families and community. We're giving away the power that we each have. There's power in femininity. There's power in masculinity. So as we let go of those inherent traits that we possess, we're giving away our power. And that's the sober truth. And it's turning everything topsy-turvy, as we saw in the reading with the cards. I get the money stone over an interruption of destiny. Okay, so this is saying, yeah, you're on the money. Your destiny as a culture, as a people, is absolutely being interrupted. But it's also talking about our ability to grow financially and economically. It's saying it's cutting us off from our blessing. It's cutting us off from our ancestral treasury. In fact, I know that's what it's saying because I have up here the eraser over the cornucopia, which is the ancestral treasury, which is our inheritance. Okay. And so men being less masculine than they have in the past and women being less feminine than they have in the past is cutting us off from our ancestral treasury. I get the penny over dreams. So this means that we're not paying attention to our dreams. It means that we may be receiving messages from the ancestors in our dreams and we're just not paying attention to them. And it's also an indication that this is not what the ancestors dreamt of for us. This is not what they had in mind for us. This is not what they bled and died for, to see us in this situation. They're worried about the family. I get the petrified wood over the family. So it's saying that the family is being affected by this phenomenon. They see it as a betrayal, and not just a betrayal, but it's a betrayal that leads to drama, upheaval, instability, because I have the dice on the number 5, and the number 5 represents all of those things. I also have the shark's tooth over betrayal. Okay. And then I have the weight, the anchor, the obsidian, which is a heavy stone. I'm sorry, the hematite, which is a heavy stone over betrayal. Okay, so they're saying that this is just, it's a betrayal. It's a betrayal to the past. It's a betrayal to the future. It's a betrayal. I get the skeleton over the future. So they're saying that at this rate, we have no future. At this rate, the future is dead. I get fool's gold over medicine. So they're saying a lot right there. They're saying a lot right there. I get the fool's gold over medicine. So they're talking about pharmaceuticals and people relying on pharmaceuticals for their healing that might actually be contributing to the demise of our culture. Things like hormone therapy, things like hysterectomies. All of these things are things that affect and directly target the femininity of women and the masculinity of men. They're saying, you're putting your faith in medicine and all that glitters isn't gold. It's not helping you, it's hurting you. Then I think that they're also talking about surgeries. Women are having surgeries at an unprecedented rate. Breast augmentations, Brazilian butt lifts, fat transfers, liposuction, etc., etc. And that doesn't make you more feminine. It's not repairing our families. It's not healing our children. It doesn't make you a better mother. It's doing nothing for the culture. And so the ancestors are saying the medicine that you guys are choosing at this time is not helping. It's fool's gold. It looks pretty, but it does nothing. Okay? I get the survival stone over the Orisha Otrosi. And so this is talking about hitting our mark. Okay, this is talking about justice. This is talking about doing things right and exact. And the survival stone is saying, listen, if y'all don't get on track, if you don't hit your mark, your survival is at risk. Your very survival is at risk. I get the smoky quartz over Oshumare. Oshumare is the rainbow serpent. Oshumare has to deal with cycles. Okay. And so the smoky quartz would indicate that we're not really seeing the cycle that's happening. Okay. And we we have so many cycles that are impediments for us as Africans in America. The cycle of poverty, the cycle of miseducation, and the lack of education. And so we're not seeing these cycles clearly. And so we're doomed, we're damned to repeat them if we don't acknowledge them. That's what the ancestors are saying right now. I get the heart over enlightenment. Okay, so this is talking about love. This is talking about us becoming enlightened and letting love guide our minds and our thoughts and our behaviors. This is talking about us focusing on love and thinking about love. And I believe that it's the love in the relationships between men and women. And that was evident here with the rose quartz over work. So the ancestors are saying that we have to work on our relationships. They're saying that the men, Black men, descendants of the diaspora, you have to step up. You set the tone here. We're far off our mark. This is not what the ancestors had dreamt of for us. If we don't get it right, our survival is at risk and we have no future. And with that, the ancestors have spoken.
If nobody talks about you, then you are nobody. Then you are